Hey brewers, it's Paul here, and we are going to do how to make a wine kit part 2. So in part 1, we showed you how to do the first stage of fermentation. Now it's been 2 weeks, we're ready for stage 2. We're just going to transfer this into a carboy, could be glass or plastic. I chose plastic this time just because it's lighter. We're gonna need an auto siphon or some siphon of some sort. I like these, they're easy to use, they're not too expensive. Obviously you wanna make sure your carboy is cleaned and sanitized. I've done so already. Use some Star San No Rinse sanitizer. That's what's in here, what I used to clean all the other equipment. So I'm gonna get my auto siphon. I like using these handy dandy clips here. You wanna try and get your tubing all the way to the bottom. Don't want it to splash around too much, that's pretty good. And then start siphoning from about the middle. That way you're not gonna pick up any sediment. You can just lower this as you go. Move our airlock. Some people will take the lid off. I find it's easier to just take the airlock off and go in through the hole. And we'll just give this a few priming pumps. And there you go. We're just gonna wait a few minutes for this to transfer over. I'm just gonna move this a little bit lower. I just had it up there so it was easier for you folks to see everything, and we're just gonna continue to let it transfer. If the levels equalize, it'll stop transfer. Okay, so our transfer is complete. I'm gonna get this out of the way here. Trying not to make a mess. Keeping in mind, if you're on carpet, this will stain it real easily, so maybe do it somewhere else. All right, now we're gonna degas the wine. You can do this with like your mixing spoon. Just get it in there and stir it really well. The idea is you wanna get all of the CO2 that was created during fermentation out of your wine. This will allow your wine to stabilize and to clear up a lot more easily. So what I'm using is a wine degasser. You just attach it to your drill and it'll degas your wine. If you make, you know, a couple wine kits a year, maybe even more, it's just worth investing the $25 to $30 on a drill attached degasser. So you don't want to go crazy. What I do is I go one way for about 5 seconds, then I'll switch directions on my drill and go the other way. Making sure not to hit the sides. And some wine, you'll do this and you'll get a whole bunch of foam, and some you won't. This particular one, I'm not getting much. Yeah, I'm not seeing any CO2 come out of solution. So that one should be good. If you're doing this with, like I said, the handle of your spoon, this might take hours. You'll stir it, you'll see the foam coming up, CO2 coming up, just walk away. And just every now and then go back and stir it again until you stop seeing that foam or that CO2 coming up. I'm seeing like 0 bubbles here. So we're good to go. I'm gonna grab the potassium sorbate. This is included with pretty much every wine kit. I'm gonna put that in there. Again, if you don't have the wine degasser, just use the handle of your clean and sanitized spoon to mix that in. Again, we don't want to go crazy here. We don't want to oxygenate the wine. That should be good. And we're going to grab our sulfite. Just pour that in as well. Give it a good mix. Should be fine. And then our clearing agents, Kieselsoll and Chitosan. They're marked D1 and D2, at least on the wine kits that we sell, but I think that's pretty common. Either way, you want to make sure, and it's usually, yeah, it's written on here, you have to add D1 before D2. If you mix these up, the wine will not clear properly. So we're gonna go ahead and add the Kieselsoll in first. And then mix it in. And we're gonna let this sit for an hour, and then we're gonna add the cheetah sand, the second part of this. So we'll be right back. All right, so we're ready to add pack number 2. And you don't have to wait an hour. I just find that usually works better. I think the instructions usually say like 10 minutes or so. And we'll add that in. And then this one, we're just gonna give a gentle stir. But my battery is dead. That's fine. You just wanna stir this in gently, so I'll just take that off and just gentle stir. That should be fine. And then if you're far from the neck of your carboy, you're gonna wanna top it up either with water. I'm using clean reverse osmosis water, or you could pour in a similar wine. So let's say you're making a Cabernet Sauvignon wine kit. You could just pour in a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon. The main thing is you don't want too much oxygen headspace in there. This will dilute the wine just a little bit. We're only adding about a half a liter or so. Perfect, that takes us up right to the neck. The other thing I should have mentioned, before doing this step, you want to check the gravity and make sure it's around 0.998, somewhere around there. You want it to be under 1.00. If it's not, you would wait a few more days, check it until it was. And that's it. We're gonna let this sit for 4 more weeks, and then we'll come back with a bottling day video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I try to answer all of your questions. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Cheers.